I'll tell you, one of the most impressive things last night, for those of us who were privileged to be here to see it, was the defense played by Union Catholic. So in that first half, Elizabeth had only 18 points.
Good. Vikings get out to a quick start.
And 10 of those were from the floor, 8 from the free throw line. So I agree it helps to get out to a fast start. And there's Luke Shore. But the lockdown defense by Union Catholic last night was a sight to behold.
Rice back to Powell, who has scored 523 points this year, over a 1,500-point scorer in high school. So Vikings are definitely going to look to limit him. Rebound by Montari.
So I was talking to
Rice. 3 is good, and we're knotted up at 3.
So I was talking to Coach Goodell before the game, and he said, in scouting this team, and you got 3 guys on the team who have incredible scoring averages.
Montari.
He said he watched this tape. There was only 2 times in an entire game they passed the ball more than 3 times. And now in those 2 occasions, they passed it 5 times. Otherwise, I'm passing it or I'm shooting it. And if I didn't shoot it and I passed to you, you're shooting it. So keep an eye on that and the way this team
Rice working against Peters.
Has 3 incredible shooters. And if they're passing the ball more than 3 times, that is a tribute, as you see right now, to Union Catholic's defense, because it's not the usual way they play.
Right. So Jack, what do you think? What do you think the Vikings' focal point on defense is going to be to, like Vito said, kind of stop this high shooting percentage team?
I mean, just limit the ISOs that they're going to have.
Short from 3 again, no good.
Try to take off all the driving lanes.
He steps out of bounds, and it'll be Jaguars' ball.
Try to take off all the driving lanes that they have so they can, dribble the ball, and they don't have to dribble the ball 15 times to get to the rim. You could make them swing the ball and swing it again, because they're not comfortable with that, as Vito said.
Well, you saw the turnover there on what was their 6th or 7th pass. So let's keep an eye on that, because the defense Union Catholic's been playing.
Lays it up and in for Conyer. So Medford Tech takes a 5-3 lead.
See, that's one pass and then rip and go.
Yep.
Right. That's what they want to do all night long.
Yes, sir.
Inside to Onsong, finishes. They're tied up at 5. So, Jack, what do you think? What do you think the Vikings are going to look to? Do you think they're going to look to exploit Yao's? Because obviously they have a little bit of a height advantage here. Do you think they're going to use that to their advantage?
Yeah, I mean, they played last night. I think the easiest way to get points after playing last night would be just get the ball in the post.
Powell blocked by Wood.
Not make your guards have to do some crazy stuff. Get the ball right in the post.
Altabelli to Peters. Laid up and in. And Medford Tech takes a timeout. So a lot of momentum here.
Yeah, early timeout for Medford Tech. But this is an accomplished team, right? They come in here, I believe, 18-5.
Yep.
They've beaten
3 out of 4 last games.
3 out of 4
wins.
They've beaten 3 non-publics down in South Jersey where they play, including
Camden Catholic.
Camden Catholic. Yeah. Now, why is that significant to Union Catholic?
The Vikings beat them last year in the state.
Is there another reason
tournament?
why Camden Catholic might be of significance to Union Catholic?
Not that I know of.
It is the alma mater of Sister Percy Lee Hart. That's why.
Man. Jack, so coming out of this timeout, what do you think Coach Regan was telling his guys there?
I think just keep shooting with confidence, keep stepping in. You don't have to do a lot. I mean, Yao has a size advantage like he does every single game. I mean, you realize that as they take him out.
Inside to Conyer. Floater, no good. Rebound by Montari.
Conyer taking 3 of the 4 shots taken from the floor by Medford Tech.
Inside to Montari. And this is something that, I mean, I've watched most of the home games here for Union Catholic, and I haven't really seen Yao and FK get out to a start like this so far, where they've kind of just been really dominating this game, and Medford Tech doesn't appear to have any clear answers right now.
I think Coach Regan's been waiting to see exactly that, right? You got these 2 guys, one of whom literally a foot taller than the guy guarding him. You want to see that.
Rice pulls up, no good. Rebound by Altabelli. Stolen by Powell. That's Altabelli attempting to get it to Wood. Powell, no good layup. In for
Yeah, that's Presley.
Presley, yeah.
He got fouled
Presley,
there,
so-
but he didn't
and
get
one.
all shook up. He hit
Nope.
the basket, and now he'll.
And you saw Powell's speed and aggression to the basket there. I mean, the Vikings have been doing a good job because I believe that was his first shot attempt so far.
That's correct.
Yeah. So, Jack, what have you seen so far from the Vikings defense that's just made them so successful against, I mean, clearly a high-scoring team and a team that comes in with a lot of implications in this game?
Well, yeah, because this Medford team has a lot of talent. I think that's something that they go into looking. So they don't want to let these ISOs happen because they get beat off the dribble, and this is the Medford team that will beat you off the dribble, but you got to take off all the cutting.
Floater, no good. Rebound by Powell. Gets it up court to Robinson, who's good. For Branson.
Yeah, that's Branson, the freshman. That was his first shot. But you see the way they do it, right? Pass and go.
Right. This I've been seeing a lot of. This team's definitely playing with some quick nature here.
All right, so with 3.5 minutes to go, there's been more scoring in this quarter than there was the entire first quarter last night. The end of the first quarter
Knotted
last
up
night,
at 9-9.
it was 10-5, believe it or not. 10-5 at the end of the first quarter
Branson
last night.
outside to Powell. Johnson. Rice inside to Robinson. Back outside to Powell.
But again, this is not the way they like to play, and the defense from Union Catholic deserves the credit.
Okay.
Rice with a clean layup there. Gives Medford Tech the 11-9 lead. Shore trapped in the corner. Steps out of bounds.
They've stepped out of bounds there, yeah.
So a lot of pressure from this Medford Tech defense. And the Vikings really been struggling the last couple of possessions, but plenty of time to turn it around. So, Jack, I mean, what do they need to do to stop this Medford Tech defense? What do the Vikings need to do?
I mean, just try to swing the ball, try to make them move. The ball moves faster than the players on their feet. So just keep moving the ball, get it inside, make them commit inside to FK or Yao, and then you
Three
draw
from
two.
Powell is no good. Rebound by. So the Vikings have done a good job, just as you just mentioned, limiting those high-scoring threats. Shore, deep three, no good. Rebound by Presley. Rice. Branson has it on the left wing. Tries to get it inside to Johnson, but it goes out of bounds. It'll be Vikings ball. 11-9, just under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, the Vikings find themselves in a position they didn't find themselves in all of last night, which is trailing, even though they're only trailing by 2.
Altabelli inside to Onsong, puts it up and in. So, I mean, really, Medford Tech, no match for the Vikings' Twin Towers here.
Look, Ansong had 3 guys on him, and he had a layup with ease.
Yep. That's one thing that Onsong has somewhat struggled with this year, is to kind of utilize his height really to his advantage in the low post. But, I mean, when he can get it going, it's really 3 from Rice is good.
Chicken and rice?
So that
Rice didn't look chicken there, right?
Nope.
And he's big from 3-point range. We call that move shake and bake, by the way.
over 400 points scored on the year for Rice. Altabelli in the corner to Shore. Drive, floater, no good. Montari is fouled. Fouled by Conyer on the play. He will take 2 shots. So, Vito, what have you liked so far from this Vikings offense?
Well, what we've liked is that the big guys are engaged early.
Right.
You mentioned that,
Mentioned
and I
that.
think that's critical. It's been something we've simply not seen.
Yeah, and then when we have seen it, I mean, we've seen a little bit of a struggle to finish here, but that doesn't seem to be an issue today. Acosta checks in for the Vikings. Montari's second shot is good. Makes 1 out of 2. Rice.
All right, Vikings still trail.
Just
though.
under a minute to go. Vikings still trail 14-12, as you said. Powell.
There you
Stolen
go.
by Altobelli, and he will finish with a open score. So that knots up the game at 14.
Yeah, Vikings trail no more. A.J. Altobelli always seems to be in the right place at the right time on both ends of the floor.
Rice. Jackson. So you've seen Medford Tech start out with not one but 2 freshmen in this game right now. So I mean,
Yeah, they have 3 veterans and 2 freshmen. It's an odd
Yeah.
combination, but it's worked for them.
Right. Powell gets by Montari and scores. So I mean, I think if you're the Vikings, you really can't let him get going because you're going to see things like that happen over and over again. But first quarter finishes 16-14, Jaguars over the Vikings. So Jack, I want to ask you, what if? I mean, I know we've kind of talked about it, but what things do the Vikings need to improve on coming out of this break?
Well, I think the pick and roll kind of defense, when you see Powell, and they have a great supporting cast. So, you know, Powell doesn't have to do everything. They have Rice, they have all these other players. But when he gets into a pick and roll, I think you have to shut off those driving lanes. He was wide open. He was just getting right downhill, and that's one of the things he wants to do. So I would say, make him shoot a jumper because he's going to he can do that all day long. He can do that layup all day long.
So Vito, on the Medford Tech side, what are they looking to do coming into the second quarter here?
Well, I mean, ideally, you'd want a couple of their guys to get about a foot taller, right? Because I think that's where this game is. We've seen in that first quarter, that's where it's going to make and break this game. But otherwise, they don't like to pass the ball as much. And you saw UC's defense was pretty effective in the first part of that first quarter.
Right.
But then after that, they went back to their game, and UC did not seem to have an answer. So I think you're going to see them play that game until they wind up getting that ball swatted away in the paint.
Lineup for the Vikings is Acosta, Onsong, Altobelli, Montari, and Peters. Conyer over to Powell. Jackson gets it to Rice and back to Conyer.
So, I mean, this is not their game. Again, the Vikings defense, they've been very effective.
Foul on the Vikings.
I think that was on Acosta. Would be his first and the team's first in this quarter.
So that's something we haven't seen a lot of. I mean, you just mentioned first in the quarter. I mean, we haven't seen it's been a pretty clean game so far. Deep 3 from Conyer is good. So, I mean, that's something that the Vikings definitely don't want to get going, especially with a team like this, high-flying, quick. You don't want them to start hitting those shots.
No, and they have 3 guys who are serious threats from beyond the arc.
Peters, Medford playing aggressive. Acosta from 3, no good. Altobelli, a great hustle play to save the ball. Peters inside to Onsong, covered by 3. Puts it up and in over his shoulder.
Oh.
So everything's falling for Onsong right now.
Yeah, he's 3 for 3,
Yeah.
but that was raw
Something
talent
else,
right there.
Rice.
Tech trying to run a zone. It's kind of like a mercy call to Yao. It's like, mercy. Like, we don't want to get.
Fouled by Peters.
We're a foot smaller, as
That
you
was-
said.
That'll
Yeah.
be his first and the team's second.
That was a hard foul by Peters. Rice looks steamed.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, something to think about as this game progresses. So, Jack, what were you saying about Medford zone?
They're running a zone, and it's kind of like a mercy call to Yao. Like, we cannot guard him. Like, we got to, we cannot let him score in the paint every time. I know they scored right there, but it was kind of like a loose play where they just couldn't get into a zone
Look,
again.
UC's 4 big guys
Inside
are 4
to
out of 4.
Jackson.
Okay, their big guys are 4 out
Deep
of 4.
3
That's
from
their
Jackson
game.
is no good. Rebound by Rice, who puts it up and in. So that gives Medford a 5-point lead, 21-16. Altobelli. Acosta will take the 3. No good. Rebound by Altobelli, puts it up. No good. Rebound by Jackson, who will get it to Johnson. And he puts up the layup. So, I mean, and the Vikings take a timeout. So A lot of momentum here on the Jaguar side, Vito. Is there anything that that you see that's just pointing towards the Vikings turning this one around?
Well, I mean, ironically, we talked about how the two big guys were key during the last timeout, and they were both pulled out of the game. I don't know if that was just to give them a breather, but you saw what it looked like during 2 minutes without them. It was brutal.
Just like we talked about in the pregame, Medford Tech came out playing fast, blitzing. So, Jack, on the Viking side, maybe if they play with a smaller lineup here, what do you think they can do to combat this Medford Tech offense without those guys without Jan FK on the court?
Well, some of these shots for Medford Tech are just elite shot making. I mean, that's where you go against Medford Tech. They're a very good team. They're going to make these elite shots where they take them like from a long distance. But, you know, you run the small lineup. I think Terrence is still a big guy, and I think Elijah's also a big guy, and he's strong, and I feel like they don't drop off. I mean, they drop off size, but I feel like Terrence shouldn't drop them off like
Three from Shore in the corner, and that is good.
From down the shore, cutting the lead to 4.
Powell, Crest, inside to Conyer. Jackson, Rice, gets by Acosta. Little floater, no good.
Rice had an uncontested 3 there, and he didn't take it. That surprised me.
Altabelli, good move, gets it out to Acosta. Shot is no good.
And that's just not falling for Acosta right now. He's taken three balls and has not been successful.
Rice. So you've seen a similar lineup for Medford Tech almost the entire first half here. I mean, it's been Powell, Conyer, Rice, Jackson, and Johnson. Shot from Powell is no good. Rebound by Altabelli. Beautiful move and finishes there with an inside layup. So, I mean, that cuts the lead to 2. So, whatever Coach Regan told his guys during that timeout has clearly paid off so far.
As much as Medford can get inside, UC can get inside as well. Even with Yao and FK off the court, they still have AJ who can beat the first defender. They still have Elijah.
I think it's just that mentality of aggression that that Coach Regan has instilled in this team. Powell, and inbound it to Branson, who's back on the court. Powell drives right by. So that's what that speed does. I mean, clearly a lethal playmaker for Medford Tech.
Again, rip and go.
That's a guy who averages 23 points, right? So we shouldn't be surprised to see what we're seeing here.
One pass, rip and go. That's what they've been doing.
Speaking of Powell, foul on him. So Terrence will now get 2 shots.
All right, that's only his first, and it's actually only the second foul called on Medford Tech. So
second
foul calls have been a non-issue here.
Right. First shot from Wood is no good. But these shots are always something. I know it's a little bit cliche, but these are always something that could become a factor in close games like this one portends to be. So Onsong checks in for Acosta. So the Vikings get some elite size back on the court. Second shot from Wood. No good, rattles in and out. But a Peters with the rebound. Gets it inside to Onsong. Great pass to Wood, who finishes with 2 there. So he makes up for his misses at the foul line with a nice little layup there.
Yeah, you see only 1 of 4 from the line here in the early going.
Branson working against Altabelli. Conyer in the corner to Powell, who's going to pull up and shoot, but he misses a little too long. Peters. Beautiful layup, gets inside, gets up and around Branson. So now the Vikings
move, tying the game up.
Tied up at 25 here.
A story is that last game he did that kind of move and he got a charge in Elizabeth yesterday. So he's changed his kind of mentality of how to address a guy so you don't go out of control and get the charge.
Lineup for the Jaguars: Conyer, Branson, Powell, Jackson, and Rice. Rebound by Jackson out to Branson from 3 is no good. Rebound by Peters. Just under 3 minutes to go. Still tied up at 25. Three from Shore is good.
Down the
And
shore again.
And the Jaguars take a timeout. So, I mean, clearly some momentum had on the Viking side. So, Vito, what do you think the Medford Tech's coach is going to be talking to him about during this timeout?
Well, given the volume at which he's telling them, we could just listen and hear it for ourselves, right? He seems a little exorcised at his guys. But I think what he's telling them is you got away from your game, right? I don't know what made them hesitate, but I saw the last two possessions. They were a little hesitant on offense. They had shots they didn't take, and then Powell took an unusually ill-advised shot. So I think he's just trying to settle his guys down a little bit. He doesn't have to teach them to do anything that they're not already doing here tonight, but they have not done it consistently. I think he's going to get back to that very fast-paced pass-and-go offense that in the second half of the first quarter proved immensely successful.
Right. Sanders comes in for
the Colonel.
Yeah, Colonel Sanders comes in for.
He looks extra crispy tonight.
Yeah, comes in for the Jaguars.
Make me hungry. Rice and Colonel Sanders.
That's true.
Three from Powell is good. So I mean, that's something I think, like Jack said, that's just elite shot making. There's not a lot you could do there. Knocked out by Branson.
Well, as you know, Powell is the coach's son, so the coach has many different ways to motivate him, but this is an extraordinary talented player. Averages 23 points, 6 rebounds a game. And him getting hot would
definitely help this team,
Yeah, changes the complexion of the game if he gets on a roll. Well, I said roll, which goes with the chicken and the rice, by the way.
Shot there by Peters.
Oh, Peters
lays it up and in.
Very tough player. Got 6 points tonight. Hasn't missed yet.
One thing I've been impressed about with this Vikings team, 3 from Rice is rattles in and out, rebound by Onsong, is that it's not, I mean, we've seen the big guys being a factor here. Another layup by Rice extends this lead to 4 for the Vikings. One thing I've been impressed about, what I was saying, was that foul on Shore on Rice. So, I mean, it hasn't really been one guy. It's been a collective effort to get this 32 points here. I mean, Onsong and Montari have been obviously a big factor on all facets of the game, but we've seen everyone contributing, everyone being a part of this scoring, which is, I think, the best part about this Union Catholic roster.
Well, I agree with you. And clearly, while there's a lot of talent on Medford Tech, they do not have a team with the depth that Union Catholic has. Whether that becomes a factor or not, I don't know. There's nobody with
Powell somehow finishes.
Nobody with any foul trouble, so there's no obligation by Medford Tech to bring in some of the guys with less experience.
I don't think there's a lot of teams that have the depth of Union Catholic. When we looked at Elizabeth, I talked about their depth to
Connor.
I talked their depth to Union Catholic's depth.
Inside to Connor, who lays it up. Oh, good. Powell working at transition. Little floater, no good. Rebound by Shore. Under 40 seconds to go. 32-30 Vikings. Altabelli.
And one,
and
folks.
One from Altabelli. So that extends the lead to 4 with a chance for 5 here. So, I mean, usually I notice Jack, I mean, obviously foul shooting is very important in games like this when it's pretty closely matched in terms of talent. But do you think this game could end up turning into one where every shot matters, or do you think this one team would pull away a little bit as this game progresses?
It's looking like a game where, like, you know, Medford Tech is hitting these elite shots, which I feel like that's going to keep you in this game if you're Medford Tech. And Union Catholic is just bigger. That's what's going to keep them in the game. So I feel like they're just they both have good advantages.
Transition. Loses the ball. Peters has it. 20 seconds to go. 34-30 Vikings. Peters with a great move and finishes.
Great body control. Again, he would have got a charge last game, but he did a Euro step.
Peters 5 of 5, taking command of this game here. He's the difference right now, folks.
Powell from 3, no good. Rebound by Altabelli. He shoots it. No good. So we'll go into half with the Vikings up 6. So, any quick thoughts from the first half here from you guys?
Well, the one thing we didn't say, but I want to underscore, is the foul that sent Altobelli to the line was on Powell, his second. So, obviously, he is the key for Medford Tech. So we'll look in the third quarter to see if he picks up another foul. The Vikings, only 1 of 5 from the line, so that's another thing in terms of keys from the first half. Despite that, they have a 6-point lead, but this is a contest, and it's a good one.
Definitely. Jack, you got any thoughts?
I just think that both teams, I mean, you got one team, as I said, one team with elite shot making and one team that has immense size over the other team. So I feel like, as you said, somebody's going to pull away. I mean, Union Catholic is the one that pulls away, but I feel like at any time this Medford Tech team could hit a 3, and it's just changed the complexion of the game. You know, threes change the complexion of a game, and they've been making some long ones today, and I think that sustains just because it just shows in the stats. I mean, they score a lot, and as I said, they're a very skilled team. So I think this is a very good test for Union Catholic. I think they're going to stay here at about this range, and I mean I would give Union Catholic the win here, but I just feel like they're going to keep going. They're going to keep scoring, and because of just that skill.
All right, we'll be back shortly with halftime.
And we are back here for halftime. So, guys, I mean, 36-30. It's been a fun game so far. Both teams look very good to start this one. So, Colin, I'll start with you. Union Catholic, what did you think of them in the first half?
I mean, I think to be honest, I think the first quarter was a little slow. There wasn't a whole lot of energy being shown in the first quarter, but I think overall, I think they really did start to ramp it up in the second quarter, and that because in the second quarter we saw a lot more energy, a lot more like great plays, good defense. I mean, we just saw a lot of great plays from them, especially from Eli, AJ, Luke. They've been playing great so far.
And Jack and Medford Tech team that we didn't really know much about coming into it, but they look very good out here, going toe-to-toe with Union Catholic.
Well, they look very good. We didn't really know a lot about them, but they can shoot the ball, and I think it starts with Powell and it starts with Rice. I mean, they both can hit shots, and I think it compares comparison to what Union Catholic has played before. They have maybe a better supporting cast. They have more players outside of the number one Powell, which he's playing a good game. But what if he didn't? I think they would still not be at this point. They'd still be losing, but I don't think it would be big of it. I don't think it would be big of a steep climb to get back in this game.
And Jack, I think might be the best we've seen of Elijah Peters so far this season. I mean, he's been phenomenal tonight.
Yeah, I mean, last night, I don't know if it was him or Acosta, but they got a charge, so I feel like he's been taking it like more, when he sees a player that's going to go up there, because he has this guy on for he's going to drive, but he goes in Euro steps around the defender so he doesn't just bump into the guy straight on, and that's going to be an offensive foul, of course. But he's been moving around, been able to use his body, and that's been great to see.
I mean, Colton, Jack kind of touched on it before, but Trey Powell on the other side, he's been the guy for the Jaguars so far. Can you tell us about his game so far?
I mean, so far we've seen a lot of shooting, a lot of just inside the scoring. I think overall as a team, it's a lot of ball movement. That's something we touched on earlier. I think that Medford's ball movement has been really good. I think that's how they're really scoring the basketball here.
All right, so do we expect this one to continue this way? Very close. I mean, Union Catholic pulled away a little bit at the end of that first half, up by 6, going into this a couple threes. But do we think this one will stay like this, or do we think someone will pull away eventually? Jack.
I don't know, because I'm seeing like this team, but I don't know if this shooting is sustainable. I don't know. We haven't seen this team at all, but I'm gonna say it is because they're just making these shots that are from way way downtown and just hit them. I mean, with no, and then the speed. The speed's one big part. They can rip and go at any point. Yes, if you hold them for a few passes, yes, they'll get stale. But once rip and go, you get the ball to Powell, you can rip and go, and I think he's fast. I mean, he's gotten past a lot of defenders and a lot of great defenders. Elijah, Costa, like we think them are great, but he's just been able to use his speed very well.
All right, Colton, your take on this. What do you think we'll see in the rest of this one?
For the rest of this one, I think it's gonna stay like somewhat of a close game. I think it's probably gonna be like within 5 or maybe 3. I think it's just gonna be a close game because it's just been like overall like back and forth. I think their Medford coach is probably telling them they're gonna keep it close. I think they're gonna keep it close and they're just gonna keep trying and they're not gonna stop. They're gonna keep pushing.
All right, well, like we said earlier, 51 power points up for grabs here. If the Vikings can get the victory, that's a lot. It's going to go a long way into trying to take away potentially that 1 seed from Rutgers Prep in their state tournament bracket, which would be huge. A win tonight gets you at least one of those top seeds. And if you can get a top seed in the state tournament, they were 5 last year. If you can get a 1 this year, it goes a long way in trying to repeat. So hopefully we get the victory today. Again, 51 power points up for play. Vikings-Jaguars second half coming up next. Stay tuned. I don't know. Welcome back to Union Catholic basketball. We're here, second half, game versus Medford Tech. Onsong fouled by Johnson. Onsong goes to the line. Only the 3rd time at the line for the Vikings so far tonight.
I think that was. I think that foul's on Presley.
Oh, Presley.
Which would be his first.
First shot from Onsong, no good.
I mean, I don't want to call. It's his first foul. I'm not making a big deal about it. I mean, it's not like I'm trying to be cruel.
Second shot from Onsong on the way. Rebound by Montari.
So 1 of 7 from the charity stripe tonight for Union Catholic.
Not something you want to see, especially if this game kind of closes.
In zone, in zone.
Montari from 3. No good. Rebound by Powell. Powell blocked. Fouled by Montari. I mean, didn't necessarily look like a foul, but good job by Montari in limiting Powell because, I mean, that's a guaranteed 2 points right there with his finishing ability.
I mean, I think there was contact well after the shot there, so I have my own concerns about that, but
Their shot's good.
that is the first free throw of the evening, by the way, for Medford Tech.
Right.
They've not been on the line yet.
Second shot good from Powell, so he makes both.
Makes both, nothing but net on either shot, and that
Cuts the lead to 4 for the Vikings. Lineup for the Vikings, Altabelli, Peters, Onsong, Montari, and Shore. Altabelli considers. Tipped away by Rice, but it goes out of bounds. It will remain the Vikings ball. So Jack, what I'm gonna ask, what are you looking for out of the Vikings in the second half?
Well, I'm looking for them to beat this zone. Let's start here. I'm looking to him to beat the zone. And I think it's going to be how Yao and just draw a crowd and trust your shooters. I mean, Luke Shore, like draw those type of guys and make sure they can hit those shots.
Powell pulls up, no good. A rare thing to see him miss a shot from that close. Onsong, lays it up and in.
And I think those are the shots Jim Regan is looking for, not three-pointers for those guys. The Medford Tech team has demonstrated consistently they don't have an answer for those guys underneath.
Well, yeah, because they went out and ran, and I think that's what they should do. I mean, they don't want to face that zone. They got to go out and run.
3 from Conner, no good. Altabelli inside to Montari, who's fouled by Branson, and Montari will go to the line. So the Vikings looking to capitalize on a little bit more of these opportunities here, especially because the fouls are starting to pick up a little bit.
Yeah, that's the freshman Branson who starts, and he just picked up his second foul.
First shot from Montari. Rolls in. 39-32 Vikings. 6 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the third quarter. Second shot from Montari, also good. Nothing but net.
Yeah, Montari, the only Viking to make any of his 3 throws tonight. He's made 3 out of 4, and it gives the Vikings their largest lead of the evening, 8 points.
Powell working against Peters. Stolen by Shore. Puts it up ahead for Altabelli. He lays it up and no good. Rebound by Wood, who puts it back up. Or, sorry, Peters, who puts it back up. And that will force a Medford Tech timeout. So, Vito, what do you think Coach Powell is going to be, what message do you think he's going to be sending to his guys after that?
Once again, we can listen and not speculate. But, I mean, Eli Peters has been very, very devastating. He is perfect, 6 out of 6 from the floor. So with I think, Union Catholic taking advantage underneath of its 2 big men and Eli Peters playing the game that he's playing, they certainly have all the weapons they need to beat Medford Tech tonight. But, again, Powell, in that first half, Medford took 27 shots. 10 of them were taken by Powell. So he is the key for Medford's success, and he is the key for Jim Regan's defense if they want to hang on to this lead.
Right.
And obviously we don't have this statistic, but I think from our own observation, you see how for Medford Tech, if they take a shot after that second or third pass, they've had tremendous success. When they have to pass the ball several times, they either turn it over or they have a hard time getting off a good shot.
Right. Branson outside to Rice. Knocked out by Shore, but it will remain Medford Tech basketball. Rice. Pass to Conyer. Powell. See,
so that's
the Jaguars passing the ball around.
That is correct. That's 6 passes, 7 passes. You see what their challenge is.
Can't really kind of penetrate this Vikings defense due to that size disadvantage they have.
I mean, they got 3 guys who can hit from 3 points, but they haven't gotten a clean look. There's one.
Conyer knocks down that clean look, so that cuts the lead to 7 for the Vikings. Just over 5 minutes to go, 42-35. Vikings over the Jaguars.
That's their first basket in this second half, by the way. Took 3 minutes.
From 3 is good. 45-35, Vikings.
Shots from down the shore. That is his third consecutive three spanning halftime. And that's quite dispiriting, I'm sure, for Medford Tech.
Powell misses the layup. Peters.
Rare miss from Powell with a clean look.
Montari puts it up, goes out of bounds.
That little history there tonight. Peters' first miss.
Jackson and Johnson check in for the Jaguars. Peters, Wood, Altabelli, Onsong, and Shore for the Vikings. Shore, jumper good. So, I mean, you see Shore knocking down 4 straight shots here. Exactly like Colton said in the pregame. I mean, his shooting, you saw it kind of be a factor yesterday, and he's kind of picked up right where he left off in this game.
Absolutely.
Rice puts it up and scores.
Rice is cooking again.
Yep.
Yep. Inside to Onsong. Wood. I mean, one thing we haven't talked much about today has been the rebounding. I mean, the Vikings have been all over the boards today. You haven't really seen Medford Tech get any type of momentum going in that aspect of the game. And I think that kind of reflects in the score, too.
So the foul there sends Wood to the line, but it is the third foul on Trey Powell. We said going into the halftime, we'd have to look for that, and that is a challenge. This game is not going to be successful for Medford Tech if they have to take Powell out of this game.
First shot from Woods, good.
So Vikings' largest lead tonight was 12. They now lead by 11. 3:49 to go.
Second shot from Wood is good, so he makes both.
All right, Wood is solid from the line. Hits them both. UC with a 12-point lead once again.
Altabelli makes Rice fumble with the ball, and he loses it out of bounds. The Vikings will obtain possession. Up 12, 3 minutes, 38 seconds left to go in the third quarter.
All right, Coach Powell leaving Trey Powell in despite the 3 fouls. Obviously concerned that if he falls further behind, he's not going to be able to catch up.
Shore gets an open look in the corner. Good! So, I mean, if you're the Jack, if you're Coach Powell, I mean, you come up with a solution right away to Shore. How do you do that? How do you stop him from getting these open looks?
You try to chase around the screens. It's really hard when they're running screens off ball to kind of stay attached. But you're going to have to. And you have to make a decision. Do you switch off the screen? What do you do? That's my thing. Like you got to figure out a way to kind of lock and trail or to switch. And you got to make it quick. Because he's going to be running around that screen. He's going to be pretty fast. It's going to be a blink of the eye and shooting the basket. It's probably going to go in if you don't give him any resistance.
52-37 Vikings inside to Onsong, who misses the dunk. Lineup for the Jaguars right now: Jackson, Powell, Rice, Johnson, and Conyer. Deep 3 from Jackson is way off. Peters. Short deep 3, no good. So he's been on the ball tonight, not really afraid to take a shot from anywhere on the court. He puts it up, good. So Shore.
Oh, Luke Shore
made his last 5 shots. Or 5 out of 6 shots. Sorry.
5 out of 6,
Yeah.
yes, sir.
Inside to Johnson, is fouled by Peters. Little contact after the play.
Yeah, that's
So
Peters'
Jackson
second.
will take 2 shots.
That is Peters' second. He actually fouled out last night. He plays an aggressive game, but he has really made his mark offensively tonight.
First shot from Jackson is good. So Jack, I mean, what have you seen out of Medford Tech in the second half so far that you've liked so far?
In the
I mean,
second
have you
half,
liked anything?
Offensively, I mean, again, they're getting the looks that they got in the first half, and I think that's what they said. Okay, let's get the looks that we had in the first half. But 3-point shots could just stop falling, and that's you need to have another plan. You need to have a plan B.
Deep 3 from Peters, no good.
They've only scored 5 from the floor tonight, so my answer would have been there's not much to like about what they've done so far here.
A floater from Rice. That falls.
Those easy baskets, I mean, hard to get it against the Union Catholic team, but
Short, open from 3 again is good. So, I mean, Medford Tech and Coach Powell have shown no answer for sure.
I mean, I was going to say, you talk about what they need to do. They better shut that guy down. He's crushing them. 16-point lead for Union Catholic.
Inside to Conyer, who puts it up, and no good. Rebound by Anson. So Shore gets it, almost got it to Shore again in the corner. Vikings up by 16 as they've kind of pulled away here as this third quarter has progressed. Montari checks in.
So the key really for Union Catholic's defense, in addition to simply slowing MedTech's scoring down, they've even slowed the pace of their offense. And the problem is this is a team that's generally capable of scoring a lot of points and quickly, but not tonight. And they're going to need to do that in this fourth quarter.
Great move by Altabelli.
If they have any chance, I mean, they are down by 18 with a minute to go in the third quarter. So they need to show an ability to score quickly.
3 from Rice. No good.
Rice, fried, does not score.
Rebound by Jackson, puts it up, no good. Altabelli. Inside to Peters. Is fouled. I believe that foul was on Johnson.
They called it on the floor, though.
So the Vikings will have possession under the basket. Vikings can come away with any type of points here. They'd extend their lead to 20.
Yeah, that was on Johnson, and it's the 4th foul of the quarter.
Wood. Rebound by Peters. Puts it up and good. So that makes the lead 20 for the 61-41 Vikings, which could end up turning into one of their highest scoring performances of the year.
Yeah, 14 points for Peters.
Peters puts it up
and now 16.
That's 23 there. So this game is kind of pulled away from Coach Powell and his guys here as the third quarter comes to a close.
I think we would say mercifully comes to a close if you're Medford Tech.
And Jackson. Powell, 3 is no good. So, I mean, really impressive quarter there by the Vikings. I mean, is there any way that Medford Tech can get back in this game?
Well, they can get back in the game in terms of making it competitive because they have 3 players who are very adept at hitting 3-point shots. And clearly they're going to need to try that in order to close a 22-point gap. I mean, they'd have to score 50% of what they've scored so far in 3 quarters in 1 quarter.
Right.
That's a huge challenge. So I think they're going to be relying on the 3 ball. So I think they're going to be running a much quicker offense. You'll have a 3, you take the 3. Union Catholic, I think, is going to be patient. They're going to slow it down. And so they're going to try to limit the number of offensive possessions enjoyed by Medford Tech and sort of coast into a victory as long as they don't let things get out of hand in this fourth quarter.
And you got to get stops as well. I think that just scoring, shooting threes, but you can trade baskets all day long. Union Catholic will trade baskets, say, you know what, we'll win this game. We can just trade baskets all day long. They're at that kind of luxury, so it's like you have to chase Shore around the screens. You have to do a lot of stuff to keep that Union Catholic offense from.
I don't disagree with you, but they've shown no evidence of even attempting that, right? There doesn't seem to be an answer for Luke Shore tonight. There doesn't seem to be an answer for Elijah Peters tonight. So unless that materializes miraculously for Medford Tech, they're not going to be able to do exactly what you say they need to, and I agree with you.
Powell from 3 is no good, and he's struggled tonight by his standards. I mean,
he hasn't scored in the second half, Powell.
Yeah. Wood with a breakdown by the Medford Tech defense, left wide open for the 2. 65-41. 7 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Powell. Rice has it. Gets blocked by Peters. Altabelli fires the open 3, no good. Rebound by Montari. Shore left open again from 3. Misses that time, but Montari's right there to mop it up and get the 2.
They're just bigger. I think we said this in the first half. I mean, it's just like AJ can shoot, but it's like, hey, I miss it. You know what? FK's down there. So it's like
Jackson pulls up, no good.
you can take all the threes you want to if you're AJ, because I mean FK's gonna be down there ready to mop it up.
Wood inside again, and I mean, no answer for the Vikings offense here from Medford Tech. Shore, stolen.
I mean, a minute and a half gone, and you're facing a bigger deficit than you did when the quarter started. So,
Gonna be hard for the Jaguars to take any positives away from the second half if this continues, which is, I think, pretty much what they're looking to do here, get some momentum going to their next matchup, which could be in the Burlington County tournament.
right, Medford Tech, for those of you looking to find it, is actually the Medford campus of Burlington County Tech. And they've enjoyed a good season. Obviously, they're not playing a lot of teams like Union Catholic down in South Jersey, but they have 3 guys on this team who are prodigious scorers.
Shore from 3 again is good, so just no answer whatsoever. Jack, I mean, what have you been most impressed about?
That's 7 threes. That is 7 threes for Shore tonight. Tremendous game.
Powell gets blocked by Wood. So, Jack, what have you been most impressed about with Shore and his ability to kind of get these looks tonight? Another basket for Shore.
But I've been most impressed about, like, he understands. Like, they're going to run the zone because Yao and FK are just too much of a force for
Powell makes the 3.
for that Med Tech team. There's too much of force, but he knows. And I'm going to get open shots because they're going to be all focused on FK and Yao. You can't focus on everybody, especially if Yao and FK are going to hurt you like this. So I feel like Yao and FK has opened very good looks for Luke Shore, and credit him for knocking them down.
Connor, Wood, Acosta, and Shore, and Montari on the court. Rice lays it up and in. 74-46. 5 minutes to go in the
That was a quick score. We'll say minute Rice. How about that? 74-46, as you said, but 5 minutes to go.
Acosta gets it to Montari. 2 is no good. Rebound by Wood again. Puts it up, it's fouled, so Wood will go to the line.
I think we can just take that video and just say that was the whole entire game. Just the way he was able to just fight on those boards and just be able to that was just so easy for him, it felt like. I mean, yes, he ripped the ball out of his hands, but it was just so easy for him at his height, just over everybody on that Med Tech team.
Wood perfect in this half from the charity stripe, 3 out of 3. He gets another shot. 4:49 to go.
75 points for the Vikings tonight. I mean, one of their highest, I believe a top 3 scoring performance from them. They had that 89-point performance against Newark Lab a couple days ago, and then that performance against Morris Knowles with 82, and then I believe this is their third highest scoring performance. So
this is so weird because you would usually think on a back-to-back, the second half you lose your legs, but this Union Catholic team
not done that at all.
Is just scoring at all levels. And Elijah played last night. Like, these are players that actually played last night. Like, it's not like they bring in a whole bench to start, like, where their legs would be fine. No, Elijah's putting on a show. Same with Luke Shore. They both played last night.
Some new change. Powell from deep 3 is good. Nothing but net. So, I mean, you look at the Vikings roster right now. I mean, they're giving some guys some experience that don't normally get in situations like this. You got Riley Ramirez, Tahir Connor, Acosta, Montari, and Wood on the court.
Well, I think that's going to change momentarily since
Coach Regan.
we've just watched 6 quick points, actually 7 quick points scored by Medford Tech. So I think the lineup is going to resemble the one that started the game in a moment.
Right. So, guys, I mean, I know we talk about it a lot, but what has impressed you so much from this Vikings offensive attack so far this game? Jack?
I just feel like they were able to adjust. I said at the first start of the game, they set Med Tech up, being like, okay, we're gonna go inside. They think they're gonna go inside the whole entire game, but they forget that you did all your work on scouting, but Luke Shore's still here. He's gonna hit threes, and I thought they set him up very well of just getting inside. I think that all they're gonna do is just throw the ball up to their 7-footer, which I don't hate it. I mean, he's a 7-foot guy. It's something that I would think as a coach. I mean, 7-footer, I would throw it up to him all day. But Union Catholic is that talented that they can just keep it going without throwing it up every single time they're a 7-footer, as they do right there.
Shiposh and Ramirez in the game for the Vikings. Acosta from 3 is no good. Johnson with the rebound. Powell drives by, gets it out to Conyer from 3 is good. So he's been a threat from the 3-point land for them tonight. I believe that's one of his, maybe his third or fourth.
That's his third.
Yeah.
And they actually, Powell has 2 and Conyer with that. They had 3 threes in this fourth quarter. They're obviously hoping that that'll get them back in the game. They're within 21. I say that advisedly, but they're within 21.
Altabelli, little floater, in and out. Goes out of bounds. It'll be Jaguars basketball. And Peter checks in.
And 21 is too close for Coach Regan right now, bringing back in Elijah. But I think that's the right mentality. I mean, we cannot even let them get a chance of getting back in this game. We gotta make this game look good. I mean, they cannot get a chance. They have some great scores over there.
Well, I mean, this is what you're seeing right
2.
now is the game that Medford Tech typically plays, right?
Inside to Onsong, tipped away by Johnson. Branson back in the game for the Jaguars. He was fouled by Ramirez on his way up to.
With how quick this MedTech team is, I understand bringing him back 21 because they could snap of the finger. It's an 11-point game. I know it's still 2:35 left. Maybe it looks impossible to the watchers, but they've just been able to score.
Well, UC had a 32-point lead at one point. It's now down to 19.
First shot from Branson is no good. Lineup for the Jaguars: Powell, Rice, Branson, Johnson, and Conyer. The Vikings have Ramirez, Shiposh, Montari, Onsong, Peters, and Altabelli.
So I think that you said Ponce's MedTech can take out this game. I feel like if they're the positive is if they're clicking, I don't think a lot of people can measure them because they can score at such a quick level. So they just got to be clicking to be able to do that.
Well, their coach has decided this game is over. Mass substitutions there, and all reserves in for MedTech. I don't believe there's anyone on the court right now who has played yet in this game.
Nope. Altabelli puts it up and in.
So with just over 2 minutes to go, Coach Powell decided that a 19-point deficit was too substantial. And I don't know what their upcoming schedule is. He might be saving their legs a little bit.
So Vikings make some changes to their lineup as well. Acosta, Kwiatkowski, and Valoria come in for the Vikings. Stolen away by Shiposh. He double dribbles and turns it back over to MedTech. Just under 2 minutes to go. It's 77-57, so back to a 20-point lead for the Vikings. I think they'd like to make this game look as nice as possible in the box score for them. I mean, looks good demolishing a team of this stature, especially going into the Union County tournament on Saturday with a lot of momentum. I think that's exactly what Coach Regan wanted to accomplish by putting this game on the schedule, get them ready for some county action on Saturday.
All right, Kwiatkowski there called for the foul. And it'll send Terrence Branson, the sophomore, not Tyler Branson, the freshman who started.
From Terrence, good. Roeder checks in for Acosta.
Normally that sends the student section into a frenzy.
Right.
But you guys are the student section tonight, so I feel free to create a frenzy.
Valoria. Vikings gonna kind of dribble out the clock here.
Yeah, just under 1:30 now.
Valoria stumbles. Back to Ramirez, gonna shoot a deep 3, in and out. Shiposh puts it up and rattles in and out. Kwiatkowski puts it up again. 4 rebounds. Valoria from 3. No good. Valoria misses that shot. Entire bench hoping that he would knock that one down. Shot from Terrence falls there. Terrence Branson. Cross court to Shiposh. Going to shoot the three. Good! So
The bench erupts.
gets 80 for the Vikings tonight. A 20-point lead, 80-60. 40 points, 40 minutes, sorry, 40 seconds to go here in this one. Kwiatkowski. Transition, lays it up. 82. So with another basket in this one, that would move this game to the Vikings' second highest scoring of the year.
I think if they get the ball back, they're going to dribble it out.
Right. Shot doesn't fall for Sanders. Rebound by Kwiatkowski, and looks like Valoria will dribble out the clock. And we will be done here. 82-60, massive win for the Vikings over the Medford Tech Jaguars. So any final takeaways from you guys before we head to the postgame show?
Well, if what you're saying is true, which I believe it is, that Coach Regan scheduled this game to keep the guys fresh for the postseason, it certainly did that. They were challenged by Medford Tech tonight. Medford Tech has a lot of talent. Union Catholic was equal to the challenge and then some. On both ends of the floor, you saw the best of what Union Catholic has to offer. They took a very talented team and shut down their three scoring champions, three veteran players, and at the same time, Union Catholic demonstrated not just its lockdown defense, but its offensive diversity, with Peters and Shore leading the way for the Vikings. After they used their big guys initially, which we don't typically see, they converted, as Jack mentioned, to a different style of offense, and Union Catholic was able to demonstrate underneath the basket and beyond the arc some extraordinarily successful offensive plays. Great tune-up game for the Vikings.
Right. Jack, any thoughts?
This is a great game going in the Union County tournament. I mean, you look at this Union Catholic team, and you look at the Med Tech team. They in the first half, Med Tech was just hitting these threes that, were long distance. I feel like Union Catholic kind of looked at that and be like, okay, this is a team that we have to really deal with. Like, this is a team that you don't just put on the schedule and be like, this is whatever. No, they're hitting these threes, and I mean, they're skilled players. This is not like, no fluke. So Union Catholic went and they're like, let's lock down these threes and let's be able to take our offense to a different level. And they really did that. I mean, ever since halftime, they've been able to lock down the three-point shots and make life difficult and make extra passes for this Medford Tech team.
So Trey Powell averages 23 points a game. I don't know how many players Union Catholic has seen to this point in the season with a stat line like that. I suspect none. And he did not score above his average. He was a few points underneath his average tonight. And Union Catholic looked good, so they are ready for Saturday and beyond.
Final 82-60 Vikings. We'll be back shortly with the postgame show.
And we're back here with post-game social. Guys, a good victory for the Vikings. A lot of power points out of this one. Colton, what did you think of Union Catholic's performance?
I mean, as a whole, I mean, they played great. I think it was a little over 20-point game for the Vikings. I mean, as a team, they all played great. They all contributed. I mean, we got to see some other guys get in the game, and I think, like I said earlier, I think Luke had a really good game, and that's why I predicted to have a good game, and he showed off with a lot of threes, a lot of good points, good defense, and overall, I think he had a really good game.
All right, Jack, quickly here, what did you think of Medford Tech's performance tonight?
See, Union Catholic ate up all those power points.
Yeah.
You know, ate up all of them. But, you know, I thought this Medford Tech team was elite. Elite shot making, I felt like, in the first half, and I feel like it had to make Union Catholic change, as I said on the broadcast. It had to make Union Catholic change into their tighten up on defense because they didn't really know what this team kind of was, and they were just, you know, maybe like a foot behind the line, a few feet behind the line. They were just shooting shots, and Union Catholic wasn't closing out. Which I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, it's a long shot, but they have shown that they're skilled and they can make those shots.
Luke Shore, 27 points tonight, 7 of 11 from 3. I mean, Colton, you said it. You nailed it in the pregame show. You said Luke Shore was going to have a big game. He did. Can you tell us about his performance?
I mean, yeah, if it wasn't obvious, the three-pointers it was hitting for him. Like, I mean, over like the course of a few games, you know, we were a little shaky, but I mean, like last game, I think he also had a good game, but this game he just really showed out with a lot of good threes, a lot of good looks. I mean, also it wasn't just the threes. I mean, it was the defense. He was getting steals. He was playing. He was hustling. You know, he was on the floor. So it's really important that you have a guy who can shoot threes and also going to play defense and really hustle out there.
And Jack, Elijah Peters, another guy who had a great game tonight, 16 points. What did you think of him?
I think he was very good. I mean, he's been able to score, you know, not at the same level he did in JP Stevens, but he's been able to score in like an efficient way. Just getting to the basket. He's got a lot of pressure off of him from the other guys on the team, and you know you have to focus on all of them so you can get easier looks as he did in JP Stevens because you know now not everybody's focused on him. Like you still have a lot of people like I was a big time focus. FK like those type players, Luke Shore are big time focuses. Where like Elijah, I mean he's still big time focused, but like. You know, you could maybe miss up on the scouting report while you're trying to scout for, you know, AJ at the top of the food chain trying to run the offense. So you have to take that off. He runs the whole entire offense. But then you forget about Elijah, and then he's gonna have 16 points. He's gonna drive the paint at will, and just be strong. I mean, he's a lot stronger than a lot of these people, and he's able to use his body very well.
All right, we'll take a short break here, and Coach Regan interview coming up right next. Now joined by Coach Regan. Coach, how you doing?
Here we are, guys. Here we are. Welcome back. I feel like we were just here a couple minutes ago. deja blue all over again, you know?
So
Hey, I'm
Coach-
doing great. I'm doing great.
I mean, big win for you guys today. A lot of power points from that one. Medford Tech played a very good game, and then you guys really were able to pull away in that third quarter. So what did you think of you guys?
Yeah, well, we knew that Medford Tech could play. We saw
Yeah.
probably about 4 or 5 games of theirs. We knew they could score. We knew they wanted the game to be in the 80s. They wanted to really get up and down. Their guards are very good. They can score the basketball. But I really felt like the longer the game went on, I thought that we'd be in better shape, and that came to fruition here, especially in the second half.
So it felt like you guys, like, you know, in the first half, it was kind of like a close game. And then the second half kind of pulled away. Do you approach these games kind of different because you haven't really saw them a lot?
Yeah.
So, like, the first half, maybe you let these threes fly, and then the second half, now you're locked down.
Yeah, well, I would say our preparation is definitely different when we see a team the first time compared to the second time. Yeah. And especially when you have a team coming from Burlington County, an hour and a half away, you never really know what you're going to get. When you watch film, you can't really, you can see the sets, you can see what they run, but you can't tell the size and you can't tell the speed, you know, so you never really know. So I think, you know, the real difference for us here in the second half of the season is our ability to make in-game adjustments that we couldn't do early on in the season. So now here we are in the second half. We recognize what we need to do. We're able to make those coaching adjustments, and then we're able to execute it now. And that's a big change for us.
I mean, how about Luke Short tonight? 27 points, 7 of 11 from 3. I mean, he just had a great game.
Yeah, he shot the ball really well. I thought we did a really nice job finding him, too. Yeah. Great job setting him up. Great job finding him. He was hot. He was hot. He was on fire, and we've seen him do that before. So, you know, when he makes shots like that, we're going to be really tough to beat by anybody in the state of New Jersey. So, you know, kudos to Medford Tech for coming up here. I mean, it was a long travel for them. They wanted to face top flight competition. I thought we had a really good basketball game.
I agree.
Today.
Yeah. So, you know, how big is it to have like somebody like Yao and FK in the paint?
Yeah, it's about 7 foot and 6'9".
No,
but, you know.
no, but you have to focus on them. But then also you have Luke Shore outside, where like maybe they double, and then Luke Shore or Acosta or Elijah are wide open, and they can knock down that 3-ball.
Jack, you are right on the money yet again. We have really good pieces. And I think that's what differentiates us from the teams that we've been playing here over the last month. You know, we can really utilize our inside strength. We can shoot the basketball. We have guys who can take the ball to the rack and score at the rim. You know, we have guys on the bench who would play at most varsity teams. Yeah. You know, and to be able to get some experience today while we were winning was a real good thing for us, because as I always say, our depth is what's going to carry us as we continue on in county tournament play and state tournament play. And we're shockingly already at that point of the season. So it's a team, it's a collaboration, and we're doing pretty well right now.
What's next? Morris Catholic, right?
The next game is Saturday in the Union County
tournament.
Yeah,
that's right.
Against Westfield. The Westfield Blue Devils defeated Johnson at 4 o'clock. Our coaches were over there. So we'll be playing Westfield for the third time at the Dunn Center at 1:30. Yeah, so it's county tournament time. And, you know, it's one-game playoffs, as we know. Anything can happen in these games, so you better come ready to play. You better execute. But I like our team. I like our depth. I like our pieces. And I think we got a real good chance.
Can I speak on the one-game playoffs?
Oh, yeah.
So, like, how kind of different is that? I'm like, okay, we look in the NBA 7-game playoff. And I know NFL 1-game playoff, but like, how do you look at that differently than like maybe a series, because you have to like make these adjustments? So how do you approach?
Well, it's kind of like the NCAA tournament, right? Like, you got to survive in advance. You got to win in advance, you know. And I don't care if you win by 1, and I don't care if you win by 50. You got to be able to have one more point than your opponent, and that's why the defense is so important, right? I mean, there's going to be games when you shoot the ball really well, like today was one of them. But then last week we really struggled shooting the ball against Union, and in the following game after that. So the offense and the shot making is going to come and go, but the defense has to be tried and true. And I think, as you've seen on a lot of nights, our defense has been fairly consistent. And we give other teams, and this was a very guard-heavy team today, give other opponents' guards a real hard time. And then when you have the bigs, we're able to end possessions and block guys out so our guards can go and get rebounds. We're very tough to beat.
How's the approach different? You know, this is a Westfield team you faced twice. You know very well. How's that approach different from a game like this?
Well, you know, it's very different. It's very different, right? Being a conference opponent, we know Westfield really well, but also Westfield knows us really well. You know, so you always got to put a couple new wrinkles in, a couple different looks, and then utilize our strengths against their perceived weaknesses. So, you know, we'll our coaches will sit down tonight. We'll review film. We'll look at their last couple games. We'll have a game plan. We'll practice that tomorrow, and I can assure you we will be ready to play on Saturday.
All right, Coach, thank you for joining us. Good luck
Thanks,
on
guys.
Saturday.
This was great. You know, today was a big win for state tournament seeding, as you
Yeah.
said, in PowerPoints. So hopefully we'll get a home game or 2, God willing, maybe even 3 here at the Vault, so the Blue Crew can be out, because it's a great environment here for our team.
All right, Coach, thank you.